Howdy folks. It's been a while, a month to be exact. A lot has happened. The 58 is back here and it's actually a car again, so that's kind of nice. Biggest problem that I had was a lot of stuff. Myself being the main thing was the biggest problem. I nearly gave up. I came this close to not wanting to do the rest of this car. And I'm going to be straight up transparent with you about what happened and what really went down. Now, this car was planned to drive to Holly Mo Party. That didn't happen. It was still there. It showed up at the show and everything was a great time and it was a big motivator for me, but we'll get to that in a second. Now, leading up to Mo Party, I was working like 18, 19, even 20 hours a day at one point. I stayed up till 4 o'clock, went to bed, got up at 7, started working again at 8 o'clock and just worked through the rest of that day too. So a lot happened. I mean, I was really thrashing. I mean, that night that I stayed up to about 4 o'clock, I was bench pressing the transmission into the car to put the new clutch in, and it was just a lot. We got it up on the lift, and as you can see, we have new wheels and tires. I actually stole these off of the gold Cordoba over there, so we'll get some new wheels and tires for this thing eventually, but this is exactly the style I wanted, so it worked out at least. And what we have underneath is really what our problem was. So I was up to like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning getting this clutch put in and getting things figured out. So where we left off though is the engine had just ran and the transmission was basically just sitting in here. I'd made the cross member and that was it. So the clutch is in. This is a McCool. It's a diaphragm style clutch and got it everything bolted in, everything torqued, everything looking good. And I revised our hydraulic clutch system. So before it had a push type that was mounted like over here and dingle dangling everywhere, and it was really bad and it would not have worked with its exhaust. Now, what we have here is a pull type. I bolted it up here and it pulls against the lever here. So it's all hydraulic and the hose goes up to our master cylinder. So it's much cleaner, much more compact, and actually works properly. It would not disengage the clutch enough to where I could stick it in gear while it was running. So you can see we have exhaust. Went to Sammy's and got this done. 2.5 inch out the Flow Effects mufflers, and this thing sounds wicked. Now the second problem we were having was this drive shaft. Now this is out of a 70 D100 short wheelbase. I think it was out of one of Dad's trucks that he had put together, maybe the Petty truck actually. What you can see is I cut it and welded it to fit. It was literally only 2 inches too long, so it worked out perfectly. So got everything, and the U-joints were actually right. So I'm gonna replace these, but they actually work to make it fit for the show. And then back here for the rear axle, I put the 273 gears that I had, which really is way too much for a highway gear for this overdrive, but it filled the space and that's all we needed. Then I put in my E-body axles I got from Dr. Diff, got the drums rebuilt, got all that figured out. I need to paint the backing plates, but it's whatever, it's in there. So all the brakes are done, like the brakes actually work, so that's all said and done. Except for the rears, I had to cap off because I didn't have any brake lines, so I just made a little cap right here and just flattened out the brake line. It's kind of janky, I know, but I'm gonna fix that here today as well. Basically just had to get it to the show and get there. Our gas tank is in. I don't remember if that was on video or not, but the gas tank got put in. So we have a complete fuel system. The brakes actually technically work, except for the rears, but all that worked and it looks good. We have our spindles and brakes and everything properly working. That and the alignment never got done. So these tie rod ends were completely loose the whole time. But I mean, it was running, it would start on a key. I just couldn't fully disengage the clutch, and that was problem number 1, like I said. Problem number 2, the drive shaft hits the floor. You can see I tried to clearance it a little bit, but I just didn't have enough. And at this point, it's 7 o'clock maybe, and we had to leave. So I loaded up the car and just hightailed it out of here. Poor Bryce Cold watched me just obliterate this car trying to get it ready. And he was patient with me, but I mean, it was rough. You can also see here, I cut a giant hole in the floor to fit the shifter. So that was all right. I mean, everything like to make it a car and function was ready. I just didn't have enough time to finish clearancing the drive shaft and making the clutch disengage to where I could drive it. Before we get too far into this video, guys, make sure you get your Dylan McCool Halloween costume here for Roads Duration 58 Plymouth t-shirt and get you a sticker while you're at it. Now, whoever sends me their best Dylan McCool costume for Halloween gets a free shirt and a free sticker. How am I gonna get all this to you guys and make sure it's there in a timely manner? ShipStation, our sponsor for today. ShipStation makes it easy for me to be able to keep up with orders that you guys provide because I can actually see all the shipping integrated into my website in one place. Now, whenever busy season comes with Christmas time coming up, you guys may want to go ahead and get yourself a gift or for someone else, and a McCool Auto t-shirt is the best way to do it. But ShipStation makes it easy on me. Listen folks, don't hesitate. Go to shipstation.com/McCool to get a free 60-day trial so you can ship more and grow more with ShipStation. That's right, 2 months free if you use my code. Don't miss out on busy season, guys. There's gonna be products that need to be shipped, and ShipStation can help you do that. I rarely filmed anything that week, and I spent every hour on the hour just thrashing on this car to the point where I was dead tired and physically and mentally drained. I mean, I could not function as a human being just for a few days there. And I missed out on like a lot of stuff because of it. And it's my fault. I'm not blaming anybody but me. I really waited because I was trying to take my time and do things right. But when you have a deadline, sometimes it just doesn't work. And unfortunately, it did not drive up there the way that I wanted it to, but that does not stop us from driving it today. And that is our goal. We're gonna make everything properly functional to the point where we can take it down the road. Now, I'm gonna show you some clips from Mo Party because that was the most important part. That was the goal for the whole thing, and that was literally a month ago at this point. But remember when I said I was gonna give up? This is what kept me from not. Everyone coming up to me, asking me about the car, and telling me how much they enjoyed the series, that's what motivated me. Because when you're doing YouTube like this, you don't really get the satisfaction of a personal connection. All you really see is a like or a comment or a new subscriber, which is great. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy everything that you guys interact with me. I love that, but the personal touch, it's just not there, it's lacking. And when I'm at home, I don't really get that connection as much as I do when I'm at an event. But the multitude of you guys who came up to me, looked at the car, and you guys told me how much it meant to you to see this car here. It's giving me chills right now just thinking about it, honestly. But what really touched me and what really did it for me was a kid walked up to me and he handed me this. This right here is a replica of my 58 Plymouth that he gave me.
Dude,
Intentionally.
no way.
Yeah.
He just made a model of my car. That is incredible. Dude, you are awesome. How'd you make the rust?
I used weathering powder.
What? That is so cool.
Yeah.
Kale's got
That is
competition.
awesome, man.
Yeah, if you
I
want,
love
you can
that.
have it.
Are you sure?
Sure, yeah.
Thank you. I'm putting it on the dash. I'm putting this on the dash. This is going everywhere. This will never leave this car. Look at that. Thank you so much. Come here, real quick. What size shirt do you wear?
Small.
Small? That's yours.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That is awesome. That is awesome.
Together.
Yeah,
That's cool.
good deal.
Awesome.
Thank you
you.
guys so much.
Yes.
Appreciate that. I love that.
Now, when I tell you I could have broken down and cried right then, that was the moment. I mean, I'm almost a little bit emotional thinking about it right now, but to see someone come up to me and say, hey, I made this for you because I love your videos, like, that's incredible. It's humbling, and it just buckled me at the knees just about. So we're gonna take this car down the road. We're gonna actually use it. Now, it may not be fully finished, but we're gonna take it down the road for you guys. So let's start. All right, let's get that out of the way. Let me get my special drive shaft clearancing tool and see if this does it right here. All right, before the drive shaft would rub right here, you could hear it ka-goonk, ka-goonk, ka-goonk like that. But now, look at there. That's just the transmission clicking now in neutral. So we're good. We can tighten the caps down and call it a day. Now, whenever I was working on this thing, I had been beating on this thing for like an hour and decided to take a break, work on the clutch. When the clutch wouldn't work, that's when I gave up. So that's why it didn't take a whole lot to fix this. But the clutch is going to be the hard part. This is the easy part. But at least it's fixed. We'll put the caps back on and See if we can make this clutch disengage, and once we do that, it should be drivable. The clutch situation, I hope, is resolved enough to at least drive it. So you can see here, this is our pull type slave cylinder. I think that it's okay now. It's properly adjusted with the throwout bearing. There's enough gap right there, so it spins. I think everything's adjusted. And right here, we've added in a throttle cable. It's kind of hard to see, but it hooks to the factory pedal. So all that's adjusted and working properly. Let's go up top and let me just show you exactly what happened and what we've been going through the last couple days. Folks, I don't want to get too excited yet, but this may be the first time this car will ever drive off this lift or ever in its current form. I'm terrified. This was our master cylinder that we had used for the clutch. This sucked. Now the first go around with that first master cylinder you saw, nothing would happen. I mean, nothing would work at all. It got to the point where I was pushing the pedal so hard that I blew through the holes in the firewall that I'd mounted it to, and it literally fell out. So I had to refix it, re-drill some holes, and that's when I mounted the new Wilwood master cylinder that we have in there now, and I'll show you in a second. Once that was mounted in there, I got it to where it worked, got everything adjusted again, properly bled, pushed the pedal, blew through the firewall again, just totally dismounted all the holes. So what I've done is fixed a few things here. Let me show you. So there's the new master cylinder. That's our Wilwood. And what I did was actually make a metal plate out of like 1/4-inch steel. That thing is heavy. And what I did, I mounted that to the firewall right here in the bolt holes and then mounted the master cylinder to that plate. I can mash the pedal as hard as I need to, and now it actually works. Except it didn't work. I had to redo everything again. Inside here, you can see exactly what I'm working with. Now this bolt hole here was originally where it was at, and it was way too low. So you're not getting enough pedal engagement when it's sitting that low. So I re-drilled the hole and put it up higher, and I think it's actually more in line now. So I'm pretty sure that's gonna be happy. So what we're gonna do is test it. Went into gear. One just a little touchy. Come on. Let's go. Oh, that's reverse. Whoa. Whoa. You have no idea how much I've gone through to get that car just to do that. Oh. Weeks, I'm telling you, weeks of work have gone into just that right there. Whew, okay, the brakes worked. I actually have functioning brakes. We rebuilt the brake lines in the rear, did all that stuff and bled them. They worked. We have power brakes. We have clutch things are happening. Like, whew, man, I don't know what to say. I don't really know what to say. I'm just excited right now. Now what I want to do is actually see if we can take this thing and maybe drive it down the driveway. The clutch just then was really, really touchy, like letting go of it. It was kind of grabby. So I'm wondering if there's something I could adjust to do that. But it actually left and drove off the lift here. So as you can see, it was kind of jerking around. I think that was my problem, was that clutch just wasn't like fully disengaging the way I wanted to. Maybe it's in a bind or something, but I say we try to drive it out of the shop now. All right, first drive out of the shop, hopefully. Woo. All right, clutch in, first gear.
side. This right here is the first time this car is driven out under its own power in 30 years. The guy I bought it from said it was sitting for 15 and he had it for about 15. It has never driven under its own power in the last 3 decades, guys. Wow. Wow. Listen to that exhaust. Woo! Man, she's running good. I cannot believe this. Nice and quiet up here. Look at that, guys. I don't know what to say. Like, I just don't know what to say. This is incredible. I honestly never thought this day would come. Like, the late nights, the tireless efforts that we went through to get this thing to where it is, I just never thought it would be here. Let's go for a little drive. The clutch isn't so bad. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. All right, oh, the door went open. Uh-oh, I don't have it latched. All right, first maiden voyage. I don't have a temperature gauge. That's probably not a smart idea. We're gonna just drive it. We're gonna go very, very slowly. All right. Let's try second gear. We got a vibration. It's probably the drive shaft that I made. Yeah, it's not very happy. Might have to get that balanced. I don't even care. I genuinely don't even care. It's probably still rubbing. I don't even care. It'll clear it. Wow. We're literally driving. Literally driving. That is unpleasant. That is very unpleasant. I think that's the drive shaft. I hope that's the drive shaft. I'm gonna go surprise Dad. He's at home right now. I'm gonna go drive it over to there and see what he thinks. All right, coming up to a stop. Yeah, the booster's making some interesting sounds. All right. All right. Ignore all the sounds, it's fine. Ignore the vibration. That's totally normal. It's totally normal, guys. Yeah, we gotta work on those brakes. What do you think?
It looks great. It's good to see it finally going.
It's leaning a little bit on that driver's side.
So am I.
Well,
And I'm not near as old. That's cool. This is the first drive?
this is the very first drive. I drove it. I got the clutch to work, drove it out at the shop, and then drove it here.
Cool.
Drive shaft is still rubbing. The suspension's all terrible, but it's here.
Turn up the radio.
Yeah. Well, it kind of shakes you out of the seat, so I kind of have to fix it. But at least it's not as bad as it was.
I like it, son. It looks really good. I like the look of it and the stance. It's cool. Does it stop good?
The booster leaks, and I think the rears need to be adjusted. Like it hisses every time you hit the pedal, but it worked.
Well, that's great. That's a cool old car, man. It's come a long way since you drug it home, ain't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just glad it didn't catch on fire on the way over here. Yet.
Yeah, that's always good.
What does Repo think?
People, what do you think, buddy?
He's out. Well, I get here and I notice that there's brake fluid everywhere, so maybe that's my weird braking pedal situation. So I'm going to tighten that a little bit. Hope that helps. And yes, I didn't use a line wrench. I'm terrible. Let's just hope that those don't leak. If they do,
I'll have to remake some lines, but hey, that's better. All right. No other crazy issues that I can see. The header has decided to self-clearance itself against the upper control arm, but I'll go back and fix that when we get back. But hey, made it here alive successfully. Well, I got the dad's seal of approval. He likes it. I'm gonna take it back home now and get it back safely where it belongs. Oh. Oh. You know, if I go a certain speed, the exhaust gets louder than the drive shaft rubbing. So maybe that's just what I do, just go faster. Drives that I've ever been on, I would consider that a successful one. That was pretty fun. I'm happy that it's finally to the point where it's movable. Yeah, there still needs to be a little bit more work done, but hey, that's just part of it. And I'm happy, I'm very excited. I think now that it's at least operational, I'm much more motivated, that's for sure. Much more motivated. So we'll get her back in the shop and see what we got to do that's left. But let's just revel in the fact that it functions again. That's the best part right now. Well, there's the damage. It just barely rubbed a little spot, and luckily it was in the place where I didn't even clearance at all. So the spot that I've already done, it's fine. It's just this part right here for some reason is not happy. So I've got the drive shaft unbolted again, and I'm gonna take this out, and we're gonna try this one more time because it's really the only thing that could keep me from going up to at least like a normal speed. So let's take this out and start smacking it with a hammer. Again. But it's clear, it's a little better. We'll work on it a little bit more, but at least I can drive it, put it in third gear, and it actually cruises pretty nice. Like, that's not bad. It only does that when I push the clutch in. Did not like that. Which I don't have any rear shocks or anything. I wonder if the pinion angle's a little off. There we go. It rides nice. I mean, these old Chryslers, man, they float. They hug the road. I mean, it may not be the best handling machine out there, but it certainly does do what it needs to do, and that's be a vehicle that transports people and it goes down the road pretty comfortably at that, you know. So we'll keep working on that drive shaft situation, and it probably could use some better U-joints. That's probably what that bucking is when I put it in reverse. But it only does that when I press the clutch in. Wow, she's peppy. Let's see how she sounds rolling through the gears a little bit. Pretty good. wow, this thing is nice. I am very, very happy with that. Although our brakes seem to not be very happy, so I'm not going to do many more passes like that until we get that situation sorted out. Holy wow! Woo! That was like actual full throttle. That was wow! Wow! Wow, that was torquey. Holy cow! I was not prepared for that at all. This thing is powerful. Very powerful. What about that? Yeah, no kidding, right? Here, put your hand on the floor right there. You can feel it. It's rubbing the floor, so I gotta clearance it a little more. I've already smacked it with a hammer a few times. It's normal. No, not at all. But wait till I hit the clutch. Listen. That's my Jake brake. I'm sure the neighbors love me at this point. I turn around and they're driving so much. I hope I have enough gas to get back. I didn't even check how much I have. Well, I'll come back and get you. Look here though. I got the turn signals. Ain't that nice? The drive shaft runs the floor, but we have turn signals. Well, listen to this. All right. Thank you for going for a ride with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's what I'm here.
What's your overall first impressions of it?
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10? Okay, well that's at least positive. I can do better than that though. Let me fix some things and then we'll do another round. Well, we stopped and I was wondering what the heck was smoking. I thought, oh gosh, maybe it's overheating. No, I forgot to tie the battery down and it fell on my header and cooked my brand new nice pretty headers. It cooked my 10-year-old, well, 11-year-old battery. Optima, listen, this battery's been great. Can you guys help me? Can you send me a new one? Dang, that bums me out. I got hot wax all over that header I gotta clean up. Talk about a trip. That was awesome. The car's back inside and I really enjoyed driving that car for the first time. I know it's got a lot of work left to do, but you guys can see that this thing actually runs and drives for the first time. So we're gonna button up a lot of these issues. These are things that I can do now. I mean, this is like attainable stuff because when a clutch doesn't work, that's not gonna make the car move. I mean, you cannot drive that car without the clutch functioning, but now that it does, like, all these things opened up. I mean, everything is working now. I mean, it's all falling into place. So I'm really excited now. So again, thank you guys for watching. You guys are the reason that we're able to do what we do and have so much fun working on these old cars. And of course, this thing right here is gonna be riding with me everywhere I go when I drive this car. It's gonna be sitting on the dash and it will not go anywhere else. So guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys are amazing. Like, subscribe, comment down below if you want to see anything else or whatever you want to see, guys. I appreciate it. Without you, again, nothing would be possible. So thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one.